So I forgot to click record on this one, but I thought it was an interesting game because I was playing against Nissa. So I got to play first, and he mulliganed to 6. Where's the chat over here? Yeah, he mulliganed down to 6. I kept my hand. This looks alright. And then I play the polluted delta, I believe. And I sacked it for a breeding pool at his end of turn. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to play the Everflowing Chalice on for 1 counter or 2. And I decided to go with just 1 since I didn't have an extra land. And maybe I'll draw a 3 at some point. Or, you know, like something else to do. So I decided I had something, I wanted to use my mana now. So I cast the Everflowing Chalice. He drops another land, a Windswept Heath. And then I drew a Simic Signet. So that was pretty good. I played the Signet, dropped the Homeward Path, up to 5 mana now. And I decided that I was probably going to play this Future Sight the next turn. Just because it had the best chances of getting us up to Maelstrom Wanderer, depending on, you know, what I drew. But and he plays his Nissa. Goes and gets a forest. And then we drew Ralzeric, and I decided I still wanted... Ralzeric only got me 1 ahead. Future Sight hopefully got me a land this turn. And he'd probably be attacking into Ralzeric. And it did give me a land. It got me a Yavimaya Coast. And you can't play the Lotus Bloom. It says rather than cast this card from your hand, pay 0 and exile it. So I can't play the Lotus Bloom from my library. So that was a little unfortunate. So it stuck there on top of my library. Not a great draw for next turn. And he plays a Thought-Knot Seer. And my hand's looking pretty good. I have the Mizium Mortars that can just kill the Thought-Knot Seer, so I thought he'd probably take that. He ended up taking the Ralzeric. And he swings for 2. And I decide to play this Ranger's Path on top of my library. Tapping all of my colorless things. And then there's I shuffle away that Chandra. And I should have gotten a Taiga because I don't have 3 red lands. And I should have gotten a Taiga there. I've learned that from, you know, because I could have Mizium Mortars next turn. I mean, obviously I'm going to Maelstrom Wanderer next turn. But I could have Mizium Mortars the following turn or something like that. I don't know when I'm going to draw red. Obviously I'm going to draw Mystic Confluence now. So I should have got the Taiga. I wasn't thinking about it. I put the Lotus Bloom in exile. He's cast that. And then I think about frying the Thought-Knot Seer, but I decide that overloading Mizium Mortars is probably better. He's got a lot of small creatures. I can hold up the Cyclonic Rift. And he cast Oracle will die, if I remember correctly. Yep. So we're both showing each other our libraries. I showed him mine. He shows me his. And I cast nothing at end of turn. I don't Cyclonic Rift any of this stuff. But notably, he didn't get a land off that Oracle. But he does have an E-Witness. So, we draw that. We got the Tezzeret on top of our library, but we can just cast that with Maelstrom Wanderer. Cost all of our mana. We play the Tezzeret. Get a Scroll Rack. Play Maelstrom Wanderer. We untap, and right now, he can only get through with 1 creature, unless he kills Maelstrom Wanderer, which he's green. He's got a few spells that'll not kill, but you know, get him out of the way from blocking. But right now he can't kill Tezzeret. So I just leave these two untapped. I can Cyclonic Rift if I have to. And then he can still only do 4 at the most, but then I get Thought Not Seized again. But, you know, best chance of keeping Tezzeret alive. So he plays the Eternal Witness to get a land. And then plays land. Why did that move? It shuffles and gets him another land. So now he's 1 land away from Nissa. He plays Burgeoning, which I had not seen this promo before, but I love that art. That is... I want that Burgeoning. That is a beautiful card. And he decides not to attack. So I activate the Scroll Rack. Clumsily, I don't know how it works on Magic Online. I was trying to put these 2 cards in, but apparently I unclicked on Tassiger because I didn't know what I was doing because it just said cancel up here. And I did nothing effectively. I put the Mystic Confluence on top of my library, which I just draw it next turn, and it changes nothing, so it was a little clumsy. But there's a Treachery on top of my library, so I Treachery the Thought Nuts here. What I wanted to do, I clicked on this, so it doesn't even show it here. I clicked on this, I cast the 5 mana, and then I clicked on the Stomping Ground to add a red. And it left it tapped, and so when this trigger was on the stack, I couldn't then tap my Stomping Ground. I wanted to tap my Stomping Ground and then untap 2 red lands so that I could Mizzium Mortars. And that didn't work because it kind of glitched out on me, and it left the Stomping Ground tapped because I tapped it in the middle of casting this. So I should have tapped all 6 lands, then cast the Treachery, and then untapped 2 red lands. But that didn't end up working out for me. Didn't end up mattering a lot. So we untap 5 lands. There's a Thran Dynamo. It only cost me 1 mana. There's an Annex. And he's at 6 lands. So I decide I'll Annex the Sanctum of Ugin. And then Mizzium Mortars the Oracle. And that keeps him from doing anything with Nissa. There's, you know, very little chance. I haven't actually played a land into his Burgeoning, which is kind of fabulous. I don't know if he has a land in his hand anyways, but, and then I can untap 2 artifacts, these 2, and then I can play Tassiger, but he decided to throw in the towel at that point. I was kind of going gangbusters at that point. Did I say Tassiger? I meant Thragtusk. So that was a fun game. This is one of the premier decks in the format, and I got a pretty good hand against him. He missed 1 land. He ended up catching back up, but Annex into killing Oracle Mode stopped him from doing anything with Nissa, and by the time he actually comes around, we're going to be, you know, doing a lot of damage to him. And I still have a Cyclonic Rift I can play. So that was a fun game.